Welcome back to An American Homestead, podcasting live from deep within the Ozark Mountains at an elevation of 2,200 feet. It's 9 p.m. Central and 10 Eastern, and it's good to be back. So, got a huge stack of stuff this week. We're going to go over all kinds of things to talk about. Jamie's here with me, and we're going to kick off the evening. Got a lot of good topics tonight. She's yawning.
Oh my gosh, you guys, 9 o'clock comes around and I'm so ready for bed. I can't even tell you, it's hard for me to turn myself back on to have anything to say past 9 o'clock.
Well, you do a pretty good job every week.
Oh, I try.
So, what did we do this week?
Oh, kill flies.
Yeah, we killed a lot of flies.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, there's just so many flies. It's like they're doing, she said earlier, she's like, it's like they're doing the last hurrah.
They're having their last hurrah before they die.
I mean, the fall is coming. The cold weather's coming in. The evening is definitely, here. And it's just like they don't want to die. They're doing their last hurrah is what it is. So, we're going to talk about that tonight. We're going to talk about bugs. We're going to talk about the flies. I have an article I wanted to share with you all tonight. And everything tonight, folks, is in the description. So if you go to the description of the playlist, hopefully it's viewable for all you guys. You can go see some of the links that we're going to be sending you all to tonight and some of the things we're going to be talking about. All of that is in the description below. So you can check that out on the video. So it's cold at night. It's like 50 degrees.
It's gotten into the 40s, though.
It's gotten into the 40s, but the flies just refuse to die. The flies refuse to die. And every night, they seem to come in the house. I'm trying to figure out. We have these screen doors, and, the kids go in and out. We go in and out, and they're just, they get in. And so...
we've been killing at least 50 to 100, no joke. 50 to 100 flies in the house every day.
The fly swatters are hot, boy. The fly swatters are staying hot.
Every time I turn around, I pick it up.
Yeah, we're killing the flies.
I'm so tired of it.
It's not like this during the summer.
No,
it's not this bad.
It's bad. It's bad right now.
Yeah, it's crazy. But we'll talk about that. So that's one of the things we did this week was kill flies. We killed flies this week.
You tell I'm a little bit annoyed.
Yeah, she's a little annoyed.
Oh my goodness. You guys, they poop on everything.
Fly poop.
There's little black dots all over my beautiful white paint, and I can't wait to be done so that I can clean it.
We got a little while to go still. It's not even October yet, so we're almost there. It is October 1st.
It's October 1st.
So we're on the home stretch, honey.
Yeah, our little guy turned 4 today.
Yeah, we have our youngest turned 4. It's his birthday, October 1st. So we had a little bit of celebration for that. So that was cool. But yeah, it's the home stretch. The fall is here, and we're hoping the flies will eventually die. What else did we do this week?
What else did we do this week? I don't know.
We did yard work, always never-ending task. Cut some more boards out at the sawmill for our neighbor. Cut some white oak logs this week. I don't know. There's just lots of things. I don't remember. I can't remember half the stuff we do every week.
I know. We killed our turkey.
Oh, we killed a turkey. We ate our first turkey on the homestead. The first turkey on the homestead has met its maker.
It was pretty good, though.
It was delicious.
I was actually really excited. It was really tender.
Yeah, I love the skin of a turkey, and the first thing I did, we cooked it. Folks, if you're familiar with the homestead, we cooked it in the brick oven.
Yeah. And
it turned out great. So part of our outdoor kitchen area is this brick pizza oven that we built on the first year that we were on the homestead. And we did a video on it. I believe it was season 1. Mm-hmm. Season 1. And I forgot what episode it was. But we built the brick oven. And this is the second turkey we've cooked in that oven. But it's the first turkey that we've done that we raised here on the homestead.
Right.
And I pulled it out today, and it was delicious. It was delicious.
We even have leftovers.
Yeah, can't wait to eat that tomorrow. So that's going to be good. I'm trying to think, what else did we do this week? I don't know. We killed our first turkey. We talked about pumpkin spice this week. Here's the deal. So me and Jamie had this discussion on pumpkin spice because I went to town like I do every Tuesday, and I went to town and I was going through, I was going through her list. She gives me a list every week of things to get in town while I'm in town.
Isn't it nice? He goes grocery shopping for me.
Yeah, so I'm just that kind of guy, and I went to town, and I go through my list of different places. Place that I go to. It's a Mennonite place in town, and they have a really nice store. It's a really, really nice store in town, and I really like going there. She loves going there. It's very clean. It's very organized, and they had all these pumpkin spice flavors on the shelf. And as I was going through and I was looking at all the pumpkin spice flavors, me and Jamie have this habit now. We've developed over the last few years of going and looking at the ingredients of everything we buy.
You can't buy anything without looking at what's in it.
We just do. I mean, some people don't, but we just do. We look at all the ingredients of things we buy. And I'm looking at the ingredients of the stuff we buy, of this pumpkin spice. So I'm like, it'd be great to get some pumpkin spice. It had all this pumpkin spice flavoring for this and for that and for coffee and for all kinds of different things. And so I'm picking them off the shelf at the Mennonite store, which is mostly, for the most part, a lot of natural ingredients. That's what they try to do.
Yeah, they really provide a lot of bulk natural ingredients that I would never, ever be able to purchase in a small town.
Yeah.
Never. Like, I got nutritional yeast this week.
Yeah.
I mean, I could never find that in
You would
a
never
small
be able to
town.
find that anywhere else in a small town. It's only because of that.
I'd have to go to Whole Foods or something. to
And
find
same
it.
with the liquid aminos.
Yeah, liquid aminos.
You can find us. There's a small bottle they sell at the Walmart in town. It's a small spray bottle. It's a tiny, tiny, tiny bottle. But the Mennonites, have a bigger bottle of liquid aminos. And so we really like getting those. It's a lot of natural foods, things like that. So anyway, I'm back at the shelf and I'm looking at all of the pumpkin spice things, and I'm picking these up one after the other, and they have so many ingredients to them. I'm like, what is this? So many ingredients that I can't pronounce the name to. And I'm just like, what in the world? Soy and lecithin, all these things I can't pronounce. I mean, just ingredients that you would not find in pumpkin spice. And I come home and we have this discussion. And
I was making, okay, so I'm on a low carb diet. You guys, I've cut carbs out. Like, I'm just done. I'm done with the bread. I'm done with the sugar. I'm eating tons of leafy greens and lots of veggies, plus meat and some dairy. Okay, so I decided I'm going to make myself a treat for the weekend. And I had found this recipe that used cream cheese and canned pumpkin and heavy cream. Okay, so in walks Zach, and I'm making this, and he goes on this rant about pumpkin spice. I'm just reading the comments, sorry, as I'm talking. It is because pumpkin spice isn't a real flavor. Thank you so much.
But it is a
Watching
real flavor.
The horizon.
What do you mean?
Yes,
It is a real
not
flavor.
a real
But you said
flavor.
it's made of a few different spices.
Okay, if you're going to go to the spice shelf in the store and you want to buy pumpkin spice, it's a spice mix. It's made of nutmeg, clove, and cinnamon primarily. Okay, so they use that spice mix in making pumpkin pie. That's the spice mix that you're supposed to put in pumpkin pie. That's what recipes call for. Okay, but it has no pumpkin in it.
But you put it in pumpkin recipes.
You put it in pumpkin recipes.
Right. Okay, that's my point. My point was, but they were putting in...
Somebody says allspice. Thank you very much.
Okay, allspice. So my point was, when I read the ingredients for these things, I don't think I remember seeing any of those ingredients in those listings of the products that I was picking up off the shelf. It was not there.
Yeah, so you went on a rant about it. And you know, it was kind of nice, though, because you were really proud of me for making something from
I
scratch.
know. She was making pumpkin spice flavored cream, but which I just put in my coffee. I had coffee this evening, which I don't normally do. But I did it this morning, too. And it's it's real pumpkin spice flavor.
Yeah, so all I used our canned pumpkin.
She pulled out some canned pumpkin that we grew in our garden and added what? Nutmeg, cinnamon, and what?
Nutmeg, cinnamon, and clove.
And clove to make pumpkin spice. And it wasn't anything like the store. It was actually natural ingredients. Whereas the stuff at the store was just flavorings that, were not natural at all, or at least they didn't say it was natural. I was just so put off by that. I mean, where did we get to a society where we can't find natural ingredients for anything that used to be made so easily by people in the past with just, herbs and spices?
I know.
I just
That's why we're trying to grow a lot of our own.
I just could not believe it. I was really, and everything today, you look on Facebook and everybody is about pumpkin spice, pumpkin spice, pumpkin spice. Everything's pumpkin spice. And it's like the crap people are buying isn't even pumpkin and it isn't even regular spices.
I know.
It's ridiculous.
So, you guys, you can tell that Zach was really, really...
I was upset.
About...
I didn't sleep for at least 2 days. I just...
See, you can get the natural thing at home. Made by yours truly.
Yep, we got the real stuff, folks. We got the real stuff. And it just, I feel sorry for all these other people, all these other schmucks out there, who go and they buy their pumpkin spice, whatever it is, at whatever store they're buying it from. And 99% of the time, it's not pumpkin, it's not spice, it's nothing. It's just a bunch of GMO flavoring that has nothing to do with pumpkin or spices. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, I just had to go on that rant. It was something that came up this week, and we went on about 20 minutes about this, and I was like, we got to talk about this on the show. So, anyway... So there was an article I saw this week on hunting post-collapse. So let's just say, for example, because it's fall, right? And I got a friend of mine down the road who's been writing hunting articles now for the local paper, and good articles. He puts out a lot of good advice. And I'm a hunter, and it's about that time of the year, to start hunting. Or at least start thinking about it. Start putting out your bait and start, tracking your big bucks and looking for sign. And I've got a great spot on my homestead where I know the deer traffic is heavy. And I just so happen to live next to a neighbor who owns a couple 100 acres who doesn't hunt at all. And in fact, not only does he not hunt, but he feeds them like crazy. He feeds them, and they're like his pets. And he's a great guy, wonderful guy. Him and his wife, wonderful, completely wonderful. But they feed these deer, and they're like pets. He has videos. I'm not kidding you, folks. He has videos on Facebook of his dogs running and chasing and playing with the deer. The deer are chasing the dogs are chasing the deer. They're like pets. And I live next to this guy, and it's like a deer preserve. So when they come off of his property, they come onto my property. And guess what? There I am, waiting to harvest the deer. And so it's just that time of year again. So everyone is getting the itch for time. And Jamie's very much looking forward to putting some deer in the pantry like we do every year. You said one jar left?
Yeah.
One jar left.
One jar left of canned venison.
That we harvested from last year. And so it's about that time.
I need at least 100 more.
I don't know if we're going to get that much, but we'll get a lot. So we're going to get a good amount of deer this year. We have one jar left, and so it's that time of year. But so the question, comes up. You've heard people talk about at the end when society collapses and it hits the fan. What are we going to do? People are just going to harvest deer. They're going to go out to the wilderness and they're going to be able to eat deer and they'll be able to eat all of the wild game they can find, and everything will be good in life. And so offthegridnews.com posted a video talking about if all wildlife would all wildlife be wiped out if society collapses? And the answer may surprise you. And so here's the article. I'll go and read it to you. I think it was really good. I put the link in the description below so you can follow along. The link is in the description. All hunters complain, at least one, about having to buy a hunting license. For that matter, they've probably complained that they were limited to hunting only during a few short weeks of the year. But in fact, there is a very good reason why we need hunting licenses and we need a hunting season. That is, without the restrictions that hunting season and hunting laws place on we the people, there wouldn't be any game. So the history is this. When this country was first settled, it teemed with game. Early explorers were unanimous in their praises for both the quantity and the quality of wild game, ready for harvest by European long guns. Who hasn't heard the reports of buffalo covering the wild plains? The herds were so vast that they went on for miles. Yet, where are those vast herds of buffalo today? What has happened to all of the deer? The truth is, there have been times in our nation's history where the game were all but extinct due to overhunting without proper controls. And it could easily happen again. And this is all from the article over at the offthegridnews.com. So it says, in the early days of our country, wildlife flourished, especially deer. Reports dating from the early 1800s indicate that there were more deer in Illinois than there were when the nation was founded. Wolves and other predators had been hunted ruthlessly by farmers in order to protect their livestock, and this allowed deer populations to grow, as the predators which killed them were nearly hunted to extinction. So, I was reading this article, and I first thought that I don't know how accurate this is, because I always thought that today's population of deer, white-tailed deer, for instance, is actually more than when this country was founded. More when this country was first explored, for example, by Lewis and Clark. I don't know if that's the truth or not. I've heard conflicting reports. People can sound off if they want to in the chat room. But it says by the late 1800s, the deer population in Illinois had dropped to the point where they were virtually eliminated. Hunters who were allowed to hunt year-round without a bag limit had killed off most of the deer. It took a major conservation effort on the part of the state of Illinois to repopulate the deer in their state, including importing white-tailed deer from other parts of the country. Now, deer are plentiful once again, and hunters are once again harvesting deer in the fall. But restrictions are in place to ensure that overhunting doesn't happen again. Illinois isn't the only state where this has happened. As settlers moved westwards, they cleared out much of the wild game population in state after state. This was the result of not only hunters harvesting game, but also farmers taking much of the game's natural habitat. Time and time again, animals were killed nearly to extinction before conservation efforts were put in place. And so it says the problem today, many survivalists and preppers talk about living off the land following a societal collapse. But the population of the United States is much higher than it was in the 1800s. In 1800, the entire U.S. population was only 5.3 million people. A century later, it had grown to 76.2 million people. But today, we have about 319 million people. Less than 2% of our population has a stockpile of food in their home, so it's reasonable to assume that most people will be looking for whatever food they can find. Without their normal food sources to depend on, people will be looking for everything from stray cats to edible houseplants. Many having our ancestors hunting for food will naturally assume that they can too. So they, Daniel Boone used to hunt, well, I can hunt too, right? So this is kind of the whole article in a nutshell. And as I was reading this, I don't know. I just think that we as a people, obviously there's a lot of people who have this armchair commando type mindset that, when it hits the fan, I'll just head out to the national forest and I can live off the deer population that I kill. And I don't think that's the case. However, I do believe there's a lot more deer today than there was back then. And I've heard reports of that being accurate. And again, I'll leave it to the chat room for people to speculate on whether that's true or not. And so one of the things I'm dealing with now is in my state, they're actually increasing the bag limit for hunters because there's so many deer that they're becoming diseased. Back in Missouri where I lived before I moved here, there were so many accidents. I mean, I think there was like 9,000 car accidents. Maybe it was 3,000. I'm not sure, but it was a huge amount of car accidents every year because of deer. they were so overpopulated, and it cost millions of dollars in damage. And today, we are dealing with the whole thing called the chronic wasting disease, and we live in an area now where this is a big deal, and it's a huge issue because the deer are so populated, they're getting diseases. And I really believe it's because hunters are putting so much bait on the ground, salt blocks on the ground, and just like people who own sheep or goats know that you keep your feed off of the ground, because if you don't, you have issues like barber pole worms, you have issues, so many parasites that can get into the animal that can kill the animal. And so that's what the deer are suffering from. And so my state today has, actually this year, they're increasing the bag limit. They're urging more hunters to get out there, and they're telling them, hey, listen, this year there's no point limit. You can take whatever buck you want to take. And oh, by the way, you can have an extra deer this year. So instead of 4 deer, they're telling you can take 5 deer. They're really trying to get people to take more deer this year because there are so many deer that they're having disease problems. They're having overpopulation issues. I don't know what it's like in your area. I just know that in this area right now, we're way overpopulated and we need more hunters. And I just think people are so accustomed to going to the grocery store, going to the drive-through window, going to the restaurants, that they're not putting up their own food anymore. They're not they're not growing food. They're not growing gardens.
Well, and even if they do go hunting, it's more of a sport, and it's not, they take it to be butchered, and then they get the deer meat back all packaged and pretty. And I had a friend of mine when we were in the city. It was really interesting because her husband hunted all the time. And he took his deer to get processed and brought home the meat and stuck in their freezer. And we were at a woman's meeting one time, and she said, I just have all of this venison in my freezer, and I don't know what to do with it. And I kind of just sat there in shock because to me, it's meat. I mean, it's
cook
meat.
it.
It's meat. You're just going to cook the meat like you do any other meat. But I think that a lot of people maybe have that kind of mentality where, they don't know what to do with it. They don't see it as beef or chicken. They know what to do with those things.
Yeah, I think so. They have no idea. And so, again, it's that whole mentality. People going through the drive-through, people relying on going, and they go out to eat all the time, and so they have no idea what is real food anymore or what to do with real food. So many people, we're trying to get people, the hunting population is diminishing. Every year, there's less and less hunters who are going out there. And it's because that processed food is getting easier and easier to acquire rather than going out and growing your own or harvesting it or hunting it or whatever. And people just don't want to do it anymore. And it's sad. It's really sad. So I just think it's going to get worse and worse. But here's the deal. Let's just say a collapse happens tomorrow. Where I disagree with this article is that most people won't know the first thing about hunting, much less, actually butchering a deer. They've never done it. And so what happens, let's just say someone from the city, modern suburbia, goes out and shoots a deer. What are they going to do with it? They've never butchered a deer before because, like you said, they always go to the local butcher shop, they turn it in and get it all in nice plastic packaging.
Yeah.
And they pay $125 to do that.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do when you shoot it?
Do they even know how to gut it?
No, they don't know how to do field dressing. They don't know how to do anything.
So they shoot it and take it directly to get packaged?
Yeah, they don't even know. I've seen YouTube videos where people like wearing gas masks because they were field dressing a deer in the field after they shot it because they didn't like the smell of gutting a deer. And I was just like, if you do it right, there won't be any smell anyway. But people are so stupid. This is just modern. And the guy, who was doing it was obviously out of shape. He'd never done this before. He didn't know what he was doing. And it's just, that's the majority of Americans today. They have no idea what they're doing. We've lost so much knowledge. And so where I disagree with this article, and again, the article is linked in the description below. I just don't think that even if the collapse happens tomorrow, and these people think, they've got their deer rifle that Grandpa gave to them or whatever, and they go out and they shoot a deer, they're not going to know the first thing to do with it, and they're probably going to completely, pardon the pun, butcher, the deer when they try to butcher it. They won't know anything what they're doing. So, and so I don't know if the deer population is going to be wiped out. There is enough rednecks out there, even people where we live who know what they're doing, who, they're probably going to insist, because there's people around here, they rely on the supermarket, but they know how to hunt if they had to. They'd be hunting a lot more deer. So, there's a good chance maybe the population would go down. I just think, back in St. Louis, there's a municipality called Chesterfield, and there are so many accidents in Chesterfield. It's a small municipality on the outskirts of the city, and they don't allow hunting, they don't allow trapping, but it has a lot of rural land to that municipality, and the deer population is going nuts, and they won't allow any hunting or trapping, but those people won't know what to do. Aussie Josh says a lot of people would die before they start eating wild meat. And that's true.
It's really kind of funny because we talk about eating venison all the time. It really is a staple in our house. And I've had so many people tell me, just friends in the area or people who move here, I've never had venison. What does it taste like? Well, you've eaten at my house. You've had venison. What? Yeah. If you've eaten in my house, you've probably had venison.
Yep. Yeah, you've had it here. You've eaten here. If you've come to our dinner, you've had venison. So she cooks it for tacos. You cook it for chili. You cook it for everything.
Yeah, I put it in anything.
Yeah, we love our venison. So anyway, interesting article. Check it out if you want to, and then comment below. I believe it has a comment area you can participate in. The bug. So check this out. Let me show you this. I'll put it on the screen. So look at this thing. This is an article. It's called the Rechargeable Bug Vacuum. And have you seen those?
No.
What do you think about that?
Oh, someone told me about this. Like you vacuum up the bug and then put it back outside.
What?
Yeah.
So I don't know if it has a reverse or not, but the way this looks like, it's rechargeable. It goes on a charger. Would this work for flies? We were talking about our bug problem earlier, our fly problem. If you're just tuning in, it seems like the flies are doing their last hurrah. Okay, and we're getting all kinds of flies. It wasn't even this bad during the summer, but all of a sudden, when fall's kicking in,
it seems to me I heard somebody talking about this, that they saw it on a commercial. We don't watch television, so we don't see commercials. Anyway, someone was mentioning this, that would be cool because then you don't have to touch it. I said, but it's not going to die. You're still not killing it.
Well, what do you mean it's not killing it? It's not killing it to be sucking it up like that?
No, the point is to vacuum it up and put it outside.
I'm putting this on the screen, so hopefully you can see it. I don't know how quick YouTube is going to update this or not.
Catch and release.
Catch and release? That's ridiculous.
That's what I said. If it's a bug, it's going to die.
Yeah. All right. So maybe this is a stupid idea. This was something I saw. It was over at goodhomedesign.com. And this is also linked below in the description so you can find the article. And it's got this rechargeable bug vacuum spider catcher. But I think it could work for flies. And if you're just trying to suck up the flies, I don't know. The whole fly swatter works pretty good, but it's just tedious. So I'm looking for an easier thing. It says easy to catch bugs, roaches, creepy crawly spiders, bees, wasps, moths, and any other insect that may creep its way into your house from a distant and safe reach. I don't know. I think it's kind of ridiculous to have to...
I don't think that we need to spend electricity to...
charge that.
Yeah.
All right. So Jamie thinks it's ridiculous. We're not going to get it. So let me then go to this other option, Plan B, and it's the bug assault.
Yeah,
so
we've talked about this before.
I'm putting this picture on the screen, but we didn't show this on the screen before. So I'm interested to see what people think. I'll let it update it says video output low. So the stream is probably slow. You're probably getting all kinds of, I don't know if it, somebody says bugs lives matter in the comment section. Bugs, so catch and release to the bugs. Free bugs, so you can suck the bugs up and then feed them to the chickens. That'd be kind of an idea.
Yeah. Chickens don't catch flies.
So the Bug Assault is also out, and we talked about this last week, and I really want to get these at some point, and they look really cool. And so I was really skeptical when I first learned about the Bug Assault. I'm like, yeah, this is a gimmick. This is, it can't really work. But I looked at the reviews on Amazon and all the other places, and the reviews on the Bug Assault are outstanding. They're absolutely amazing. I could not believe how good the reviews were for the Bug Assault gun. And so someone says it actually works. Someone says it leaves salt everywhere.
Yeah, that's what I think.
But so what? It's salt. I'd rather have the salt everywhere than the bugs everywhere.
I don't know.
I mean, you're going to sweep up the dead bugs anyway, like we're doing now.
I know.
Might as well sweep up the salt. If you get one, someone says if you get one that works, a lot of bad ones out there. See, Lonely Prepper Homestead said that. But, I mean, if you go back and look at the reviews on Amazon and all the other places that sell this, the reviews are outstanding. I mean, that sounds like a really good deal. And $80, it's $80 for two of them. So $79 for the buddy deal. If you buy one, I think it's like $40.
That's expensive.
Or $30. I don't know what it is. Yeah, I know it's expensive. It's not cheap. But it works, they say. I don't know. I'm you're talking about the flies and how to deal with the flies.
I know.
We have, telling you, the flies are crazy here right now. Cap Fans 37 says Hillary's going to ban that too. Maybe. That may be true. We'll have to wait and see. But anyway, I'm really looking at the Bug Assault and really contemplating buying one of those. Be kind of neat, so... Anyway, go back to the stack of stuff. What else we got going on? Okay, the legality of distilling. So we did a couple of videos. We did an unboxing of the still this week. And of the still we got from Clawhammer Supply. And really it's very professional, very well made. It's not crap. It's not cheap sheet metal. I was talking to Kyle over at Clawhammer Supply. And he was telling me all of... When he was sourcing the materials to build this thing, he was finding so many of his competitors are using non-304 food-grade stainless steel. And so he was determined to make sure every single piece of the still was 304 food-grade stainless steel. And it's the same way with the TuboBiz guys. People don't realize how important that is because, here's the deal, folks. I want to buy something quality. When I get something, I want it to be quality. I want it to last for a long time. I want it to be able to use it for a long time. And if I don't want, like we got a new pitcher pump this week.
The pitcher pump.
For the kitchen.
Oh, man.
So, and the current pitcher pump we had was leaking. It was putting out a little bit of water. And it was molding the counter.
We had the pitcher pump for about a year. It's been almost a year.
Yeah.
And you guys, this was a huge change in quality of life for me. Yeah. Having that water right at the sink. Well, there was always a problem with it dripping. Like every single time you pumped, it would drip. It would drip out the top as well as the spout if you pump too hard.
Yeah. But even if you didn't pump hard out of the spout, it would still not reach over enough in the sink.
Yeah, it would drip back.
Right.
It would drip back. And so for a while, it didn't really bother me because, I just wipe up the water and I kept a towel next to it and I would always wipe up the water. I was just really conscientious because I was worried about my counter. But despite my efforts, the water got under the formica of my countertop and has been soaked.
Even after we siliconed it. We siliconed it. We tried to seal it off as best we could, and it still got underneath there.
Yeah, so we decided, okay, we'll try another pump. So we got another pump and put that in, and it was usually I can find something good to say about a product. I have nothing good to say. You know what? I even told my dad, I said, just come take this stupid pump out, because honestly, I would rather go outside and get water.
It was crap.
Than pump from this pump.
It was total crap. So within a couple days, we installed this thing, and within like 2 days.
No, it was less than a day. No, it was 1 day. 1 day it started rusting.
Yeah, it was okay. It was rusting. I mean, there were spots of rust on it within a day of putting it in. See, to me, folks, that is crap. If you're gonna put it's just ridiculous. And they had they had paint all over it. You know, obviously it had been painted. And the other one, the red one we had, there wasn't any rust on it. I don't remember a spot of rust.
No, there wasn't any rust on it, but it has always dripped.
Yeah, it dripped. It wasn't watertight for sure. But, I mean, I thought it worked way better.
This pump did not have... Somebody said the leathers need to be replaced. This was a brand new pump.
Brand new pump.
Never been used before, and it did not have leathers. Because I'm sorry, I'm just going to tell you, I'm a little irritated because I love the pitcher pump at my sink, and I've been without it for a week now, and I'm a little cranky. So I'm just going to tell you, I'm a little cranky. Anyway, so no, some genius who made this pitcher pump that we tried next decided to replace the leather with rubber.
Right.
Thinking that, okay, now you don't have to prime the pump. Genius, right?
Yeah.
No, the thing is like pulling on, I don't know.
It's hard. It's really hard to pump.
Really hard. And by the time you get it going, it's this huge geyser of water that shoots out from the top and splatters everywhere.
Yeah. The only way this would ever be feasible to be used is in an outside application. It could never be used inside because it splashes water everywhere. It's completely ridiculous. So we're looking at another pump that's out there on the market, and it's a little more pricey. So we're going to see what we go with that. But my point is, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I'm a little gun shy.
Yeah. I really like the red pump that we had. It's just, if we could find a way to make it waterproof at the bottom, that would be great. So we're going to have to go back and figure something else out. Anyway, we're looking at something else. My point being is that green pump that we installed to replace the red one, it had rust within like a day. It was rusting. It didn't work at all. It was crap. And, the quality was just crap. And so the whole point about the still was, when you unbox that still that from Clawhammer Supply, it was quality. I mean, there are lots of pot stills on the market today, and there's so many reasons why you would want to. People want you to take down the bear pick. What bear pick? Oh, sorry. All right, there we go. Yeah, I'm putting back the Homestead pick. Let's see. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah, the pot still. So there's so many pot stills on the market today that are just made with sheet metal, plated, chrome-plated, steel, and it's not really stainless. It's not 304 stainless steel, 304 food-grade stainless steel. It's just crap. And, I really like when a company goes out there and tries its best to find quality and to find craftsmanship, something that's going to last. I want to buy something that's going to be used by my children one day. And so we did the unboxing, we did the whole assembly video, and it's up on YouTube. And eventually here, very quickly, we're going to be doing a water distillation run to show you how we make water, distilled water on the homestead, because there's lots of reasons we use that for the battery banks, for colloidal silver, lots of reasons to use distilled water. So we're going to be doing all that here soon. But it's quality. You can just take one look at this thing and see, it's quality. And, the other thing I was thinking about, too, this week was the Deets Lanterns. The Deets Lanterns we have. They're quality lanterns. We've been using these now for 4 years.
Yeah.
And they work really well. So eventually we'll probably do another video coming up soon on the Deets Lanterns that we have here on the homestead. 4 years going strong. We bought 4 when we first came out. One had a thing broke.
We broke one of the globes. But the other 3, and that was our fault completely. Yeah.
But the other three have been working great for almost 4 years now, probably over 4 years, I think. Mm-hmm. And I want to get some more because they're such good quality. Anyway, just things like that. Buy quality. Buy things that are going to last. Buy things that you would pass down to your children one day. That's just important to me. So the legality of this is that people are talking about. I had so many emails this week on asking about the legality. People saying, "Oh, it's perfectly legal to distill, on your home if it's for your personal consumption." That's absolutely incorrect. So I posted a link below about the legality of owning a still, and it's from Clawhammer Supply, and it says, "Is making moonshine legal?" And so it starts off this way. Unless the thought of digging ditches with chains around your ankles is appealing, you better read this article on the legalities of making moonshine very closely. There are federal and state laws regulating home distilling. To avoid trouble with the federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies and officials, you need to comply with federal and state laws as well as any local laws. We'll summarize federal laws in this article, which are important to know. However, be sure to check out laws regulating distillation for your state. So, federal distillation laws. Federal law states that it is legal to own a still of any size. It doesn't matter if you have a 1-gallon still or a 100-gallon still. According to the feds, it is legal to have a still for decoration, distilling water, distilling essential oils, etc. The still does not need to be registered with anyone, and no permits are needed as long as it is being used for the aforementioned purposes. However, be advised, it is illegal to distill alcohol without having a distilled spirits permit or a federal fuel alcohol permit. It doesn't matter if the alcohol is for personal use only, not for sale, etc. So I had so many emails this week coming from people who are like, "Zach, it's okay, you can do it. You don't need a permit. It's just, if it's for your own personal consumption, it's fine." And according to a few states out there, Missouri being one of them, it's fine to make your own distilled spirits for your own personal consumption. But here's the skinny, folks. The skinny is federal law trumps state law. That's the whole thing you're dealing with now with the whole medical marijuana issue. Federal law says no, but some of these states like Colorado, California, and a couple others are saying it's okay. But when it comes down to you being in court, who's going to win out? The feds are going to win out. That's where the bottom line is. So a common misconception is that only stills 1 gallon and smaller are legal. This is not true. Actual law merely states that stills 1 gallon or less that are not being used to distill alcohol are not tracked by the TTB, which is really the ATF. See more on this below. It is perfectly legal to own a still larger than 1 gallon so long as it's not being used to distill alcohol or it is permitted to be used for distilling fuel alcohol, or spirits. So really what it comes down to, folks, if you want to own a still, get a federal permit for making fuel alcohol. It's easy, it's free, it won't cost you a dime, and it takes only about 30 days to get it back in the mail. Easy peasy, very simple. That's basically the federal fuel alcohol permit. And Clawhammer Supply gives a link on their website, on their contact page, of where you can go to get it. It's at the ttb.gov/form/ and it gives the PDF that you can download it. And like I said, it's free, it's easy, it takes less than 30 days to get it back, and then you can own a still and use it for to making fuel alcohol. It's just good to have. I've had a lot of questions, people who want to have a still, because here's the deal, folks. If times really get tough, like we all know is going to happen. I mean, let's just be honest. This ship is going down. I mean, the plane is on fire. It's tanking, and Mayday. So when it crash lands, how are you going to provide for your family? Folks, alcohol has and will always be an exceptional trade and barter commodity. It just is. You can use it for medicinal purposes. You can, all kinds of reasons. People are always going to want to get their hooch. So if you have the ability to make this stuff, there are so many benefits it could bring to you and your family and your homestead. And so this is one of the top preps I would recommend for people who are trying to prepare for hard times coming. Not only that it'll benefit your family, but, there's just so many reasons, so many benefits to this. When it comes to distilled water, when it comes to solar applications, when it comes to making colloidal silver, medicinal, so many applications. It's not even funny. So I really recommend. I'm not just trying to sell Clawhammer Supply. They're not paying me any money to give you this information, okay? They're not paying me. I'm not getting any money from them. They sent me this thing to review, and that's fine. I'm going to review it. And of all the ones I've seen, and I have seen a couple in my life, this is the best built distiller I have ever seen, with the best quality I have ever seen. And when it comes to homestead products, someone called me a sellout this week on the YouTube channel when they saw the review. They're like, "You're a sellout." I said, "You know what? When you see me doing a review for Mercedes-Benz or a new Samsung 60-inch big screen, then you can call me a sellout. But I review homestead products, and I'm reviewing this one. It's a homestead product. They're marketing as such, and it's a good one. And so I'm going to tell you what I think about it. If it was horrible, I would tell you. But it's a good quality product, and so I recommend it."
The pitcher pump was horrible.
The pitcher pump was horrible.
We're telling you.
Absolutely horrible. Those people can just, I mean, they just need to repent. Who made that? Who made that thing? And I still have a video I'm going to be putting out soon of a homestead product that I reviewed that is also, I did not have good things to say about it. I'm not going to put it out now. And I know some people who are listening to the show have given good reviews on this product. And I'm telling you, for me, it just didn't work out. And I won't tell you what it is yet, but the video's coming. So I just did not have a good experience with it. Anyway,
I think.
let's go over to the chat room. Why? You have anything else you want to say?
No, I was gonna say, isn't it time for questions?
Yeah, let's go over to the chat room. Just by the way, we're harvesting our achicha, and we're having harvested. We got some new squash seeds we're going to be putting up on the website here soon, so be looking for that. The new achicha, I think we're almost sold out of the achicha, if not already sold out. But the new ones will be coming in. We're getting ready to harvest those. Is there any other? Here's from the bee lady. Is there any other way other than giving feds info we are distilling? We are not for that. All right, here's the deal. Guys, I've talked to people, online. No one has ever been visited. These small alcohol fuel distillers who are registered with the feds, no one's ever been visited. The TTB actually is supporting right now in Congress a bill that would make this stuff completely legal. Because why? They are sick and tired of dealing with small people like us. They don't want to deal with us. What they want to deal with are the big, giant federal or the big, giant fuel alcohol makers. So they don't care about you and me. They don't care about the guys with 8-gallon stills or even 100-gallon stills. They're dealing with people who have a 500-gallon still who are producing 10,000, 100,000 gallons a year. They don't care about us. And so the TTB and the ATF is supporting a bill in Congress right now. I believe it's the HR 09, I don't know, whatever it is, but they're supporting a bill in Congress right now that would make it legal for households to distill up to 48 gallons per year. So they don't care about the feds. So don't worry. If you go ahead and get a federal fuel permit, the chances of them coming to your house is about 1 in a billion. They don't care. They have no time for you. Can you give me some, here's from Beth Mitchell. Can you give me some ideas for cooking canned meat? This is my first year of canning meat. That would be for you.
Well, I have never done ground meat canned. I've had a friend who did that, and they said that they wouldn't do it again. I always cut my meat into chunks and can it raw pack, and it comes out of the jar very tender. It shreds just as you would imagine meat coming out of a crock pot. So however you would use crock pot meat, it's great for like barbecue sandwiches. That's probably the best for someone who's just learning how to use, because it's just exactly like that. It's shredded. Let's see, chicken salad, especially, tacos. I use anything from venison and chicken for making tacos. It's like a shredded taco.
Yeah, I love that. I love the tacos.
Shredded taco meat. If I'm putting it in a soup or a stew, I will put it in after I cook the stew, just because if you put it in first, it's all going to fall apart and you're barely going to know you've got chunks of meat in there. So I would recommend cooking the super stew, then putting it in after. Oh, Zach loves biscuits and gravy. I make biscuits and gravy all the time with chicken or venison. What else do I make?
I mean, everything. It's just what we go to for all of our meat, for the most part.
I mean, casseroles, but I really don't do a lot of casseroles. If that's your thing, we don't need a lot of pasta.
Wheat Tree Bonsai, keep posting your question. I'll get to it in a second. Freaky Geek 2 ask if we're going to be distilling essential oils with the distiller. You can do that. On the side of my house, we have a bunch of mint growing, and I'm trying to grow those plants. They're slowly taking over. I want them to take over more. I got to give them some better soil and some good mulch this year. And I would like to do some distilling of essential oils for the mint plant. And we've had mint essential oils, and we have mint essential oil for doTERRA.
Peppermint,
yeah. So I want to do peppermint essential oils. I think at some point, if I can get those plants big enough, I will do that. It may take another year before they can get big enough. They're kind of going slow because I put them in the worst possible soil you could put a plant in. And mint grows anywhere. I mean, if you know mint will grow anywhere. And this mint is I put it in this hard clay rock stuff, and it's growing. It's slowly taking over, but it's real slow. So I just need to keep putting in some good manures there and let it take off. But that's my goal eventually. We heard that the MNO and XYZ is opposing the TTB efforts. I don't know what that is. The TTB, the Tax and Trade Bureau, which is part of the ATF, as far as I understand, is supporting this whole bill that's going to make it legal. I mean, they're the end-all, be-all. That's basically part of the Treasury Department, I think also. Maybe it's the Treasury Department. I'm not sure. But they control the whole alcohol stuff, and they're supporting it. Wheat Tree Bonsai. So, Zach, Ziploc. We talked about this. Zach, Ziploc bag with water and a penny keeps flies out of the house. Have you tried it?
Oh, no. You know what?
It sounds like voodoo to me.
I just can't bring myself to try it. I mean, I've looked into it, and I've read a ton of people who've tried it, and honestly, there are mixed reviews. But honestly, and don't take this the wrong way. If this works for you, awesome. But I just can't bring myself to stoop to that level that I would. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It just seems ludicrous to me, and I just can't bring myself to try it.
Is there anyone else out there besides Wheat Tree Bonsai that says this works? I mean, does it work? I mean, I'm not trying to. I mean, maybe Wheat Tree Bonsai. You've tried it and it does work. I don't know if it does or not. Songbird says doesn't work. Wheat Tree Bonsai says it works. Who's right? Living on a Dime says it doesn't work. The baggies with pennies. Avalon Leanne says old pennies probably. So if you don't know, pre-1982 pennies are all copper. All the pennies after 1980.
It's not about the copper.
What is it about?
It's about that they see some little thing in a bag magnified, and their eyes see 1,000,001 pennies in because the water magnifies through the plastic.
The flies are scared of pennies?
I'm sorry, you guys. I just can't bring myself to try it.
Beth Mitchell says it does not work. The 806 Traveler, penny in a bag is a myth.
I just feel like it would be.
Oh, I Wear Aprons has Wheat Tree Bonsai has and I Wear Aprons says that it does work. Worked for us, he says here. Kathy Shakin says folks around here use it that live around the chicken farms. Many flies, they all swear by it. Said John Morgan says, yeah, we're getting 50-50 reviews on here. Go for Green Living says it depends on the sunlight. Mike Miller says maybe flip a penny. JM at the Nut House says worked around the barbecue here. Interesting. What? I don't know. Are we really, I mean, we're kind of desperate right now. Maybe we should try it.
It keeps me out of the house.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys, I always thought It would be doing something to my intelligence if I tried it.
Maybe we should. I mean, we're desperate though, right? I mean, we really hate these flies right now. They're just insane. Well, I don't know. We'll let you know if we stoop to that level. But anyway, what else was? What other questions we got here? What was the other question I saw here a minute ago?
Oh, I don't know. Somebody named Freaky you said you were gonna get back to, but I don't know what the question was.
Oh, someone says, how do you tell when the achichas are ready to pick? When they're, I mean, I don't know, when they're about the size of a golf ball. I mean, that's about the time to do it. When you can put your fingernail in them and they pop open, kind of, that, I mean, they're ready to go. And you can, when they're smaller, they're ready to go right then. You can just eat them raw when they're small, when the seeds aren't black. When the seeds turn black, they're kind of getting mature, and at that point, you can save the seeds. But when the seeds are white, you can eat everything, the whole thing. Just drop it, pop it in and have your way at it. So, do you make your own cooking oils?
No, I wish.
What would we make it out of?
Yeah.
I mean, milk fat, butter fat. Butter fat, I guess you could do that with.
Yeah. Well, we talked about that last week. We're thinking about getting a milk cow. So
yeah, it's on the list, maybe. We're waiting to get the price on that, on the milk cow, and see how that works. Let's see. What is your least favorite thing about homesteading? I don't know. What's my least favorite thing about homesteading?
I think that with homesteading, and we've talked about this before, there's a million things that you can try. So homesteading to me is just living. It's about living life and trying to live your life more self-sufficiently. So, and providing things for yourself. So you just got to figure out what is it that makes your heart sing. I don't know, I'm not trying to be poetic. I'm just, I think that you got to figure out what is important to you.
Yeah, I don't know. And that's another thing, too. It just brings up the whole topic. There's a lot of channels out there, and I love some of them. I really do love some of them. They're entertaining. They espouse themselves to be modern homesteaders, but really they're just living. They're living on a house in the middle of nowhere with every modern convenience that everyone in the city has, and I don't see the difference, really. I just don't. I'm trying to get back to nature as much as possible. I'm trying to do things without all the things, the trappings of man, but they have everything that you would have back in the city, and I just don't understand. I don't know. I'm just like, why? Why waste your time? Rain Country Homestead says, when and how do you plant the popolo? Finally got some seed for next year. Give it a good garden bed, some good moist soil, and the popolo will grow. Our popolo right now is about 7 foot tall. It's huge. And it was starting to die back a little bit because we weren't getting any rain. We had about 3 weeks with no rain, and so it was it's getting ready to put out seed now. So I'm ready to go out there and start collecting seed here pretty soon for the popolo. But we love our popolo. I mean, Jamie loves the popolo. It tastes like cilantro. If you like cilantro, you will love popolo. That's just all it does. I mean, so Rain Country Home says cilantro does not do well here, so it's time to try something new. Rain Country Homestead, if you like cilantro and it doesn't do well where you live, grow popolo. If you live in a warm climate, popolo will do well. We had a lady come through who didn't speak a lick of English. She was from Mexico. She was a relative of a friend of ours, and she came through our garden, and she didn't speak a lick of English, but she saw the popolo plant over in the corner, and she says, popolo. She knew exactly what it was because every person where she grew up knew that plant. They used that plant in all their cooking and so many things. They knew the popolo plant. And that's from Mexico. So if you live in a warm climate, down in the south, even Midwest, a lot of other places it'll grow, but it likes the heat. The cilantro, the popolo will do well, especially if you like cilantro. When your cilantro has done and gone, the popolo will still be going, and it'll go in well into the fall. So popolo is good. You will love the popolo. I don't know. Is there anything else going on?
Well, I think we just need to clarify that, no, we don't think that homesteading is using no modern conveniences. Obviously, we have a lot of modern conveniences we use. But I do really believe, somebody said it's all about food, growing your own food. I think homesteading is more than that. I think homesteading in the past was people who were making their own, not just their food, they were making their own things that they could use, whether it was blacksmithing, they were having some kind of a trade.
Yeah.
I really do believe that homesteading has a connotation of being about more than just food. I think that the modern homesteading movement is just about food.
Yeah.
But I think homesteading should be and could be more than that if we would, what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, how do you define homesteading? It's hard to define it because there's just so many different people out there doing it their own way. I don't really know. All I know is that I look at some of the channels out there, and it's not really, it's some of the big names out there, some of the big guys out there, and they have every modern convenience you could possibly want. And I'm just like, you're not really homesteading. You're just, living in modern America with every convenience that you could possibly have.
But I think the point is, Donna S. says, I still want a refrigerator and freezer, even if in the middle of the nowhere. That's fine. Cool. I mean, do what works for you. I mean, this isn't about sucking life.
Yeah, exactly. We're not going to deal, electricity is overrated. I mean, we've gotten this far off without a refrigerator. We'll probably never have one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just, I don't know. It's just, like you said, homesteading is living, and it's just life. It's what we do. Who knows? But it's complicated. It's complicated to define what we do. And there's so many good homesteading channels out there that are doing it their own way. And I guess it's just, living life on your terms, and not allowing anyone else to, define who you are. So, I don't know. We'll leave it at that, folks. Hey, listen, we're going to be doing some great giveaways this week. Be sure to check in this week. I got a lot of great prizes to give away, and we're going to be doing the ammo giveaway here soon. We're going to be doing the Creation Crate giveaway soon, and also a new product from Suwaki. We've done giveaways from them before. They sent us a new product. We'll be giving that away this week and announcing the winner. If you want to be a potential winner coming up in the future, go ahead and go to AnAmericanHomestead.com, our contact page. Send us an email and put giveaway in the subject line, and we will enter you for for future winnings, for future giveaways, and I promise I won't spam you. So, all right, we'll leave it at that. Thanks, guys, for tuning in this week. Love y'all. Thanks for all the questions. We'll be back next week. All right, take care. See you next time on the Homestead.